Hey guys, welcome back to Day-Today Chess. What can I say about today's game? Definitely, I was very disappointed. At the same time, I haven't been feeling very well, so that is the reason why this video is not getting uploaded until late at night. I hope you still have the time to enjoy it. Let's check out the game and see how Sergey Karjakin was able to get back and bring Peter Svidler in the tiebreakers and see if his luck is going to be continued tomorrow or not. Before we're waiting for tomorrow, let us just go over the game and try to understand what happened. He started with knight f3, which is not his normal opening start. d5, d4, c5, c4. I will have to admit, shamefully, that I do not know 100% what is the name of this opening. It's not the Tarrasch, maybe some Tarrasch reverse. It's not the Catalan because g3 has not been played even later. Some interesting opening here. You know, it's a type of Catalan without g3, I guess we can call it. Maybe somebody knows, so make sure you comment. I'll learn something new here. C takes d4, c takes d5, knight f6, queen takes d4, now queen takes d5. So this, you would think this is a nice opening to play for black, right? Because the pawn structure is definitely totally similar, symmetric. Everything is symmetric. The queens are about to get traded off the board. You know, definitely in Svidler's favor. Unfortunately for him, Karjakin had much more in mind than just trying to make a draw, because of course, given the result of their match, he had to win this game in order to qualify and play in the tiebreaker. So, you know, for knight c3, the queens got traded off the board, and now in this position, a6 is the move that has been mostly played, and Konstantin Landa, Russian grandmaster and coach, is known to have played this a6 really a lot of times, and with quite a good success, I would say. I mean, he made lots of draws in this position. So, you know, I mean, after bishop g5, for example, b5, the idea would be, okay, in case this capture happens, and now knight d5, threatening some knight c7, there's just rook a7, and okay, I'm stopping that those threats. Then I'm going to develop the bishop in d6, castle, you know. Yes, maybe I have some slow development with black, but so does white a little bit, this bishop, and, you know, he has to castle. So, I mean, this would have been the normal continuation, I suppose. Actually, I remember I played something similar myself at some point, and okay, it was with g3, but I also had in mind this bishop d7 idea, but it seems not the best continuation, in my opinion, because, you know, you definitely want this rook out of there, and okay, the bishop in d7 is not doing much. You'd rather prefer having it on this diagonal. So just keep in mind, if this type of opening is happening against you, try to remember to use, you know, get as much space as possible with black. You don't want to stay behind in development. So now knight b5, and the problem is that black somewhat has to play king d8. Okay, knight a6 was another possibility, but probably Karjakin would have continued with e4 here, I'm assuming, and show his superiority with white still a little bit, although pieces got traded off the board and there's still, you know, great similar pawn structure. Svidler went for king d8. Maybe he underestimated the importance of having your king safe. And now bishop e3. You know, this is a very interesting move. It's a good move. I would normally tell my students, guys, be careful. How can you should not be developing a bishop in front of a pawn, especially if the pawn that you're going to push maybe e4 and develop this other bishop, right? So I'm sure that after this video I'm going to be having lots of questions about that. Now pay attention, although this is something you are told not to play, there are specific situations where moves like this are acceptable and in fact quite good and necessary. Playing the bishop in e3 now is definitely a nice addition. So it's stopping black, like keeping the pawn attacked, of course, also controlling the square b6. And in any case, black is thinking to play a6. Well, he won't be able to do it because there will be bishop b6. So it's a very nice addition to this opening, and basically forces black to play knight to c6. So he doesn't have knight g4 attacking my bishop, which allows this move f3 that Karjakin played. And it seems that here h3 has been played before by people, but I like this f3 idea a lot because, okay, first of all, you're stopping g4, and then you can have some idea to play bishop f2 at some point, making sure your bishop is safe, not close to any kind of attacks by the knight, and then get the center with e4, and then eventually this bishop is going to be developed. So this is a very nice, I think it might be a novelty. I'm not 100% sure here, but I think it was a novelty. So it's a nice addition to this opening. And now h5 played by Svidler. I don't know what was the plan with h5. I don't think white wants to play g4. I think mostly his idea is bishop f2 and d4. So I think what black should have tried to do here, maybe try to play king c8 and then try to play b6, bring the king to b7, because there will be an e4, so this bishop won't be doing anything on the diagonal most likely. The king there, and then push this pawn e5 or e6, probably e5 is best, and start developing the pieces, because eventually white will play an e4, so you want to have kind of a similar structure, not to allow white, get extra tempis or anything. So yeah, but h5, I personally am not a big fan of this move. Now long castle, of course, white is just hurrying with the development, and as I always say, in every single time I have the chance, a rook on the same file as the king is definitely a plus. So now king c8, bishop g5. This idea is really cool. I mean, I know I want Svidler to win, but I do appreciate nice ideas and creative ideas. And here there is this crazy idea that after g6, I mean, g6 trying to develop the bishop, Karjakin had this amazing knight d6, after which he has big advantage, because he doesn't win material, but he's forcing black to take back, and now he's going to have a very weak pawn in d6, and probably that was the big reason why he ended up losing this game, that weakness in d6. So, I mean, what to do here, if not g6, if you're trying e6, maybe I could still think of doubling your pawns and then knight e4 coming. So you're having a big trouble now with this bishop. That's why, here's another reason why you can see h5 was a mistake, is now you cannot go with the pawn back. If you could play h6, that would be amazing, but unfortunately the pawns don't go back. Maybe another game of, not chess, some other game will be invented where the pawns will be allowed to go back, but like this is just not that great. So I was having trouble trying to find some other move here for black. He definitely needs to try some b6 stuff and king b7, but you see with the bishop in g5, when he'll play king b7, I'll just take and you'll lose the bishop. So it's very, very hard in this position with black. And for example, if you play here a6, thinking, oh, okay, the bishop is not there anymore and the king is not there, there's no bishop b6, well, maybe there's knight a4 now, because you still gave the b6 square away forever, and I'm definitely bringing my knight there now. Check, and you have to go king b8, and now probably I'm just gonna take here, and you can't take back because I'll take in f6. So this is definitely a great position for white. So that is not possible. I'm having big trouble figuring out. I think h5 was the mistake in my opinion. Okay, so this great move by Karjakin, and now basically what he did is just finish up the development. and start attacking d6. Let's see how he did that. It wasn't an easy process, you know, because okay, there's the weakness, but I can defend it. I'm defending it for the moment. How are you going to break through? And you know, this, when I saw this game, I woke up in the morning and I saw the end of the game, and I remembered that how much some years ago when Carlsen played against Karjakin, like 100 something moves, and he ended up beating him. Everybody knows that game. Maybe I'll have a video of that at some point soon. Everybody thought it was going to be a draw, but no, Carlsen was able to just create this idea to come with the queen on the other side of the board, and he just won. So that reminded me that maybe that was a lesson for Karjakin, and he used a similar motive. He just had a small motive, this d6 pawn. In that game, Carlsen almost didn't have anything, and he just went for it. You know, he went for the pawn. Now, what to do? Svidler had to develop the bishop. I mean, if you don't develop it, you can't do anything with the rook in g8. So he had to trade it. But okay, he traded it at least for a piece that's going to attack d6. So he didn't trade it for this bishop. So he's alright with this trade. But let's see what happened here. So he's doubling on the d file. Now, if you don't take the knight in d5, if you don't take it, what to do? How are you going to develop? How are you going to take this pieces out? It's kind of impossible. Rook d8 is coming and you're losing the pawn. So he was kind of forced to take the knight to liberate these two squares to be able to move the king and bring his rook to defend d6. But now, okay, this is what happened. Now rook d4. Here is mostly just moves of position improvement. b5 I think was a good move, trying to get rid of the pressure on the knight there, because maybe rook c4 was coming. Bishop b3, but the problem is he tried to get active, Svidler, but you know, how active can you get with that weakness there? And you have a lot of pawns on white, and the fact that I have a white color bishop is definitely helpful for me in endgame. Besides, you know, bishop in endgames with pawns on both sides of the board are the position for white is better because he has the bishop, so he can alternate between the two sides of the board. Now a6, g5, he tried, but okay, now I'm just improving the position. Maybe h4 was not the best move here. Maybe f6 had to be played, try to put all the pawns on black, but eventually he did that, so that's not a mistake. So here they're just white is improving the position. Black can't really do much, so they just stayed here for some time. And now, okay, stay until they reach the move 40, and then Karjakin came up with this idea to come rook f2 and try to play f4. And now the king is coming. You can't control all of the squares. Bishop f5, and now knight f4 check. And here was the mistake. They probably lost the game. He played rook e8, and after g3, white has big chances to win. Probably in this position, he had to get rid of his weak pawn. This was his chance, his only chance to get rid of the pawn. And but okay, there's still e5, but okay, at least I can take and at least have some counterplay with this pawn. The problem was that in this position, Svidler messed up. He played rook e8, and after g3, he had no more chance to get rid of that pawn. And the rook endgame is definitely in white's favor because he has an active king. There's a weak pawn here, it's about to be lost, and my rook can get active, whereas yours not that much. My pawns are also more advanced than yours. So what happened? Here's the final thing, the final moves of the game. This rook f4 was a really good move by Karjakin, not allowing you to get this pawn and blockade my g3 pawn, and here there's nothing to do. I'm just, this is a check, this is a very important check, king e5, and now king f5, rook b3, simply pushing the pawn, and yours, like I said, they're too slow. Mine is right there. And in this position, I think somehow on the website I was looking, there was rook g2, but I think Svidler resigned. It's sad for him, but hopefully tomorrow in the tiebreakers, he's going to be eager to get back and win this World Cup. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Thanks.